Hey, welcome to Critically Disdained. Today we're getting back into the swing of things. We're going to talk about an album that will take you to new levels. It is an album that is called Dream Sequence by multi-instrumentalist Deparshi Roy. Now, before we get into the album, let's talk a little bit about who is Deparshi Roy. I first came across his work when he was a guitarist for the Indian metal band Sitar Metal, which is a metal band that is fronted by a sitar, and it's the first of its kind. And I had initially come across this band when I was going through a sitar music phase. I had been listening to a lot of psychedelic music and really just kind of honed in on the sitar music and started branching out and listening to some traditional Indian music. And usually, when I go through these different types of kicks, I will usually look to see if there are metal versions or metal genres within whatever genre or piece of music or instrument that I am particularly hooked on at that point. And so I came across the band Sitar Metal. Now, I have talked about this video in the past. I made a video about 2 years ago talking about this band. I really love their music, and I will make sure to link to that below for you. Now, keep in mind, I was still really new to YouTube, so the video quality isn't great. But even still, the information itself I feel is good and accurate. So I'll link to that below so you can check that out if you like. Now, as for Dream Sequence, the album name is absolutely appropriate because Deparshi takes the time to transport us into another dimension with his sound. The first time I listened to it, I actually felt like I was transported onto a different plane, and there were moments where I felt like that it was a soundtrack accompanying me because I was listening to it as I was working, and it was excellent background music. But then when I listened through it again, it's also really good for listening to when you're paying close attention. Most of the songs I think would actually fare very well in movie sequences, and I was actually chatting back and forth with Deparshi a little bit, and he actually said that that was what he was going for, that when he was writing it, he envisioned aligning them with a movie-like visual. The album is packed with feeling, with ambient sound, and a sense of emotional depth and introspection. Everything blended together meticulously, creating a beautiful work of art. I really enjoyed it. I've listened to it a few times, and I really like it. Deparshi produced it all himself. He wrote the music, he played the instruments, he did the mixing, the recording, all the pieces. He was the producer from start to finish. This was the fulfillment of one of his dreams. So it wasn't a forced creativity, but rather it was the expression of Deparshi's soul. He had been wanting to do this for a long time and writing for a while. Some of it he wrote while he was in sitar metal, and this was an outward expression of his inner feelings. If you like music with layers, this album is for you. Deparshi allows quite a bit of repetition in the songs, but that was intentional. In an article with V13, he acknowledged his repetitive style of songwriting, and what he said about it was, I do writing of one melody and growing on top of it with cascading melodies and layers. So basically, he takes a concept and then he repeats it and layers on top of it, piece by piece, until you have a full experience from start to finish. And it keeps the elements that you feel at the beginning of the song throughout the entire song until the end. Deparshi wasn't just writing music for the sake of writing music or making music he liked the sound of. There was intentional emotion placed within the music. There is a story to be told there, and there is an actual story there. The journey he takes us on isn't just with the intent of mesmerizing us with guitars and his electronic elements, leaving us in a state of meditation, but rather it's giving a chance to peer inside of his soul. Now, if you would like to hear a track by track breakdown, the entire album it's an instrumental album. And if you would like to hear kind of a breakdown of what he was feeling and why he wrote each particular song, the article he did with V13 is very enlightening. And I'll make sure to link to that below for you so you can check that out. From start to finish, I found this album to be really relaxing. It's beautifully crafted and it has multiple uses for the listener. Deparshi's ability to blend ambient textures with intricate soundscapes makes this album feel fresh. It could be used as background music, like I said before, if you want kind of just a chill vibe while you're hanging out. Or you could even use it with the intent of calming the mind or for meditation. However you decide to use it, as I said before, it is quite introspective and definitely worth your time. It's an album that offers something new every time you listen to it, so you should definitely go and check it out. If you like this review, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow. Also, if you like the album, make sure to give Deparshi a shout out. He's a really nice guy and a very talented musician. Also, don't forget to comment. Tell me what you thought of this review and what kind of reviews you'd like to see in the future. Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch, and I'll see you next time.